Commercial diplomacy is what government of Uganda has been advocating for, and that is what is currently taking place in Mombasa, Kenya. Organized by the Consulate of the Republic of Uganda in Mombasa, a 3-day trade and business symposium is focusing on enhancing trade facilitation along the Northern Corridor.
And Mombasa, we all know that it's the main gateway for East Africa, and Uganda's share of imports and exports amount about 82% of all transit cargo through this port.
Graced by Amelia Chambade, the Trade and Industry Minister, and attended by public and private stakeholders engaged in trade along the Northern and Central Corridor, the meet comes at a time of increased trade between Kenya and Uganda. In fact, in the last financial year, Uganda managed to change the status quo in trade with Kenya by exporting more than what it imported.
When you talk about trade, our trade relations with Kenya, Uganda and Kenya, have increased to $1.5 billion as exports from Uganda to Kenya, and it is now 77.4 billion from Kenya to Uganda. Of course, there is also tourism, which is booming in Kenya, and we feel that we should talk about trade and services as well, on how we can improve on tourism in Uganda. I know sometimes we focus on commodities, but we should also think about trading services.
Despite these trade gains and the two governments' commitment to curb non-tariff barriers on the Northern Corridor, the problem still persists, says Kiama Kilonzo, the Kenyan High Commissioner to Uganda. Kilonzo called for action against the challenges which continue to hinder the seamless movement of goods and services on the corridor.
Recently, we had a state visit of President Museveni when he visited Kenya, and a lot of these issues were sorted out. But talking out of the script, I must say, they are sorted out on paper, but officers on the ground still continue frustrating business people from both countries.
In Uganda, logistics inefficiencies in import and export of goods are estimated to cost Uganda shillings 3.1 trillion each year, and logistics account for 18 to 20% of the price of goods sold in the country. The third Trade and Business Symposium ongoing in Mombasa, Kenya is aimed at creating synergies as well as bringing together Kenya and Uganda in tackling the issue of non-tariff barriers. Uganda, a landlocked country, is the second biggest user of the port of Mombasa after Kenya. Sigoa for UBC News in Mombasa, Kenya.